हम भी बना लेंगे।
बेटा तुमसे ना हो पाएगा।
It's hard to believe. There was a time in India when buying a good pair of earphones was strangely difficult. If you wanted something cheap, you usually ended up with random unbranded products that stopped working within a few weeks. And if you wanted something reliable from brands like Sony or JBL, you had to spend far more money than most young consumers were comfortable paying. That gap in the market is exactly where boAt entered. And honestly, the timing could not have been better. Young Indian consumers didn't just want functionality anymore. boAt took ordinary electronic accessories and made them feel fashionable. Suddenly, earphones were not just gadgets you used for music. They became part of your personality. Within a few years, the company exploded in popularity. boAt became one of India's biggest audio brands, crossed thousands of crores in revenue, achieved unicorn status, and turned Aman Gupta into one of the most recognizable faces in the Indian startup ecosystem. At one point, the brand felt almost unstoppable. But today, the conversation around boAt feels very different from what it was during its peak growth years. The company's growth has slowed down significantly. The IPO that everyone expected never really materialized. Competition has become brutal, and investors have slowly started asking a very uncomfortable question about the company's future. So what went wrong? Was boAt actually building a long-term product business? Or was it mainly building a very powerful marketing machine and destined to fail? In 2016, Aman Gupta and Samir Mehta didn't build a tech company. They built a lifestyle brand. They hit the Goldilocks zone. Decent quality, low price, and massive vibe. They weren't selling audio. They were selling the boAt head community through aggressive influencer marketing and celeb endorsements. Then, the pandemic hit and the stars aligned.
COVID-19 numbers in India. A single-day spike of 92,071 cases has pushed India's coronavirus tally past the...
Suddenly, the whole world was stuck at home. Everyone needed cheap gear for Zoom calls, online classes, and killing time. Demand didn't just grow, it went vertical. By 2020, boAt was the #1 wearable brand in India and top 5 in the world. They were the cool kids of the startup scene, and for a minute there, they looked absolutely untouchable. But as it turns out, hype is a great fuel, but a terrible foundation. Success is great until everyone else starts doing the exact same thing. By 2022, the market didn't just grow, it became a swamp. Every street corner had a new brand selling the same plastic earbuds. boAt's secret sauce wasn't a breakthrough in audio engineering, it was marketing. While global giants were dumping billions into R&D and proprietary tech, boAt was dumping its budget into meta ads and celebrity contracts. When your main moat is just a loud voice, you're in trouble when the room gets noisier. Revenue growth began to stall because, at the end of the day, there's only so much vibe you can sell before people realize the tech hasn't actually improved in 3 years. The low price, high hype strategy works great for a sprint, but boAt was starting to run out of breath in a marathon. Success is easy when you're the only one in the room, but by 2023, the room got crowded. The numbers tell the story. After years of hypergrowth, boAt's revenue hit a wall, dipping from 3,400 crore in FY23 to around 3,100 crore in FY25. Even worse, they swung from being comfortably profitable to a massive 129 crore net loss in FY23. While boAt spent on ads, rivals spent on copying their model. With no unique tech moat, their market share, which once felt untouchable, began to feel the heat from 100 identical brands. Desperate to cut costs and ride the Atmanirbhar wave, they pivoted to Make in India. But look closer. Most of it wasn't manufacturing, it was assembling. Roughly 90% of the raw materials were still flowing in from China. They weren't building the tech here. They were just putting the pieces together with a screwdriver in an Indian factory to snag subsidies and PR points. When your only edge is price and patriotism, but the tech stays basic, you're just waiting for someone to do it cheaper. With audio hitting a ceiling, boAt pivoted hard to smartwatches. It looked like a masterstroke until the reality of the supply chain kicked in. Most of these budget watches were white-labeled, meaning they were designed and manufactured by the same handful of Chinese companies. So the market flooded with clones. Brands like Firebolt and Noise were buying from the same factories, using the same plastic covers, and selling at the same razor-thin margins. There was zero unique tech to justify the boAt name. Consumers quickly caught on. Reviews were brutal, complaining about lagging interfaces and sensors that gave random health data. By 2024, the vibe was altogether dying. boAt's smartwatch market share was cannibalized. Noise grabbed the number one spot with 26.6% share by 2025, leaving boAt trailing in second at 14.1% and has been trailing ever since.
Second attempt at an IPO faces fresh scrutiny. Auditors flagged mismatch in statement to lenders, statutory lapses, and gaps in audit trail compliance from FY23 to FY25.
By 2022, boAt was ready for the big leagues. They filed for a massive 2,000 crore IPO, dreaming of a multi-billion-dollar valuation. But the timing couldn't have been worse. Global markets tanked, tech stocks crashed, and investors suddenly realized vibe marketing didn't equal long-term profit. They desperately withdrew the IPO and turned to private investors. Warburg Pincus stepped in, pumping in $60 million through convertible notes. This technically kept them in the unicorn club with a valuation of roughly $1.2 billion. But it was a band-aid on a bullet wound. The numbers turned ugly. Profits evaporated into a 129 crore loss in FY23. As the hype cooled and the smartwatch gamble failed to pay off, market sentiment soured. They re-attempted an IPO filing in late 2025, but the market wasn't buying the story. Reports suggest the valuation dipped toward a fraction of its peak, with some estimates dragging it as low as 300 to 500 million in the secondary market. By late 2025, the cracks reached the top floor. In a move that sent shockwaves through the startup ecosystem, both founders effectively stepped back. Just 29 days before their latest IPO filing, Aman Gupta and Sameer Mehta resigned from their executive roles, moving to non-executive board positions with zero salary. It wasn't just the founders. The company is facing a massive talent exodus, with a 34% attrition rate. That means 1 in every 3 employees walked out the door last year alone. While boAt struggles to find its identity under its third CEO in 3 years, Aman Gupta has already started shifting his focus to new ventures and his massive portfolio of 130+ angel investments. The story of boAt is a masterclass in marketing and a warning in strategy. Can a brand survive when its founders step back and its valuation takes a massive dip? Only time will tell if they can sail out of this storm. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that subscribe button. For more on high-stakes business shifts, check out our previous video on corporate executive controversies right here.